Okay. You're live right now. Let me just put this on Twitter here. Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Okay. Whoever needs help selling anything, just send me an invite and I will help you out. Hey everyone. Hey Wasabi Guy, Stepsis, Gelato, Angelo, Slushy, Antonio, Andrea, Tommy So, Drifter Kids, Some Blue. Hey, what's up? Okay, I guess I'll help Agent Reaper sell his stuff first. I haven't helped him in some time, I think. Hey, everyone. Hey, Maurice. Thank you for the super chat, man. Morrowind, the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I played that game in the past. Maybe one day I could play it again.
Buckle your seatbelts.
Looks like I gotta get over there. Okay. Well, this is not a slow car, so I'll get over there quickly anyways. Hello, Timmy Bash. Crap. Hey Patrick, hope you're doing good. Just got done watching the Bike Riders and Fargo. Bike Riders? I don't know what that is, but Fargo, you mean the TV show or the movie? Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 8 months, Jacob. Have I seen the Sniper Elite Resistance reveal trailer? If so, what are your thoughts? I'm excited for it. I probably would have liked to see another part of the war other than France, again, but I'm also excited for it. Thank you, Nicholas. Breaking Banquet? Who's that? Okay. Okay, yeah, you can hook those up with that. That will help. Your how to create YouTube channel guide help. The key is to be diversive, especially gaming. Yeah, you always want to diversify your game. You always want to diversify your channel. Thank you, Ann, for the super chat. You want to... The thing is, the thing about running a gaming channel is that a lot of YouTubers, they just focus on one type of game, but I personally feel that that's a mistake, because if you only do content on one type of game, you will grow really fast. You will, like, for example, if you do just GTA or just Call of Duty, for example, you'll grow pretty fast, you know, compared to, like, a channel that does all, you know, different types of content. However, though, the con of that is it's going to be really hard to try to do other stuff, and when you try to play other, you know, other games, other content, you might have as many people watching it, and you might have also people getting pissed off at you, too. Hey man, thank you for all the great entertainment over the years. As a fellow ex-retail worker, I wish you great success in the future. Thank you, Latenko. Thank you for the super chat, man. I'm going to college tomorrow. Do you have any tips that I should know before I go? The first 2 years of college are really an extension of high school. That's all they really are, is, I wouldn't worry about it. The first 2 years of high school are really easy, and in fact is, the first 2 years of college, I thought that those were easier than high school. I just thought it was more chill, more relaxed, so I always preferred the first 2 years of college over high school, personally. What's the hardest case in LA Noire, Pro? I would say the hardest case in LA Noire is probably the Naked City, because the Naked City has the most amount of questions, like it has so many questions in it, and almost everybody that you talk to in the Naked City lies about something. Like, everybody's lying about something, so I'd say the Naked City is probably the hardest case in LA Noire. Hey, Pro, love your videos. Would I ever consider doing a Sopranos lore video? Thank you, Charlie Main. I see that you have a avatar of Tony Soprano there. Yes, and I kind of already did Soprano lore videos when I did videos, like, on the GTA lore characters. Like, I explained, like, their references in the Sopranos and stuff like that. But if you're talking about specifically on the Sopranos, I don't know. Maybe. The thing about this is, I've experimented with making lore content on, like, gangster movies and gangster TV shows in the past, but every single time I've tried to do it, it ends in a disaster, because the copyright is so ridiculous. Like, it's like, if I just want to, like, show, like, one scene, like, this one, even, like, a 1-minute scene, just, like, explain, like, you know, a specific character's choices and stuff like that, it gets copyrighted. Like, there's, like, no fair use whatsoever on YouTube when it comes to, like, doing, like, lore content and reviews on, like, movies and TV shows. The bigger channels tend to get away with it, like Watch Mojo, but, like, but some of the smaller channels, like, you have no chance of, like, using those clips. Like, they'll come after you. So that's why I've always been so annoyed, like, doing lore videos and, like, that type of content, because I get copyright claimed so quickly. I have seen the new Sniper Elite, yes, Resistance trailer. What's the best way to make good money in a communist country like the Soviet Union, as an example? Taxi driver. Taxi drivers were the wealthiest people in communist countries because taxi drivers get a lot of tips. And so taxi drivers typically made the most amount of money in communist countries. That's why in Cuba, everybody wants to be a taxi driver, because taxi drivers make more money than doctors. Thank you, Mr. Jesus, for the super chat. And thank you, Mobinator. Thank you for sponsoring my channel also, man. Yeah, you can reply in people's super chats. It's a new feature now. Hello, Otto. Hello, hey Pro, why did Elsa walk away from Cole's funeral? She didn't walk away from Cole's funeral, because she was angry or pissed off at Cole. She walked away from his funeral because she got pissed at Roy delivering the eulogy and nobody doing anything about it, and also she felt that Jack didn't say anything about it too. Thank you for helping me. No problem, Agent Reaper. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, can you do the New York City accent? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, I'm gonna do that New York City accent one day when I talk to a scammer. I'm gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna tell him that my name is, like, Tony Cipriani or Tony Soprano, like, when I'm trolling. Because I did Dmitry Raskolov last time, like, last time when I was trolling a scammer, I pretended to be Dmitry. But, like, next time I'll pretend to be, like, Tony Soprano or somebody like that. Guys, everybody with the insurgents, follow me, except the guy with the flat cannon, because I know where the next drop is gonna be. Next drop is going to be right over here. It's gonna be in front of the jewelry shop. I already see the yellow smoke. It's a spin-off. It takes place in the same universe the other Sniper Elite games, but it takes place in you know, Nazi-occupied France, where you're helping the French resistance. Thank you, Jacob, for the super chat. Yeah, suspects do tend to panic a little bit. But you know what was the stupidest question in LA Noire? The stupidest question in LA Noire was probably in that one traffic case when you bust, like, the stolen car ring and you go through that warehouse and then you confront that guy and you ask him what's the name of the guy at the who was spending money on the betting tickets? What's that guy's name? I forget the guy's name in LA Noire. He was tied to the stolen car ring. What was his name? The character's name? I forget what his name was. Somebody refresh my memory in the comments. Live Bolt, Live Bolt, yeah, it was, that guy. So, basically about him, if you, when you talk to the guy in the stolen car ring, you will actually ask him, you know, who is behind this, and he'll say, like, Live Bolt, but he's dead over there. And you don't need, like, proof for that, because you've seen it for your eyes. Yeah, you know exactly who the guy is. And so if you use doubt, he'll get, it'll fail the question. You have to apparently use, like, lie, and you have to, like, show his shop, which makes no sense. Does anyone know the question I'm talking about? Could you say, hey, I'm walking here in New York accent? Hey, I'm walking here! Okay, yeah, showing him the note from Ray Pinker makes no sense. I almost got what? Wait, did I, who's... Okay, Okay, here we go. You should try the Sniper Elite VR game if you haven't already. It's available on PSVR 1. I should one day when I get the chance. Who's Harry Hawker? He's Carl's partner. He appears in Sniper Elite 3 and 4 as like a co-op character that you can play as, I know that. Thank you, Latenko. What are my favorite shows? Have I ever watched The Shield? Isn't The Shield a cop show? No, I haven't. I haven't watched that one. But I have watched Fargo. I've watched Fallout. I've watched The Sopranos. What else have I watched? I don't really watch. I've watched Turn Washington Spies. I haven't watched that many TV shows. I used to watch The Walking Dead a long time ago, but I don't watch that anymore. Thank you, Charlie Main. Which characters do you want to see in Mafia the Old Country? I want to see young Leo Galante on that game. I wouldn't mind playing as Leo Galante, but you know what I really hope? I really hope you don't play as Salieri, because I really don't want to play as Salieri, because Salieri's a scumbag, so I really don't want to play as Salieri in Mafia the Old Country. I would, you know, much rather play as, like, you know, Leo, for example. I don't want to play as Salieri. Thank you, Mr. Jesus. No one else in camp dresses up like Dutch, modders, and glitchers. Well, Dutch dresses up like an aristocrat. He dresses up like a rich person, also alien. Invite me to the business. Oh. Okay. Was Henry a snitch? Yes. Only 2 people in the MC? Okay. At least it's garbage trucks. It's not the worst. I'm playing on the PlayStation. There's a video by the Vile Eye talk about Micah's character, and he gives a unique perspective. On the type of person he is. Also, Micah video when I will make a Micah Bell video one day. I know I said I'd make it. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I'll make it one day. Thank you, Luke, for the super chat. Luke, I just have a policy of just personally not getting involved in drama. So I stay out of drama. I don't get involved in drama. That's just basically my my position on the whole thing. Thank you for the super chat. I don't like naming other YouTubers and, getting into drama typically. You're a PlayStation player? Yeah, I'm a PlayStation player. Here we go. No, I haven't seen Point Break. Any videos are tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll have the next part of Ace Attorney. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, Pro, for the LA Noire playthrough. I love the game, and especially all your series. I like people playing the Summer's Case, but because my name is Tiernan, not a common name outside Ireland. Okay. How to use a VPN with a PS4 console? It's pretty annoying. But basically you have to run a table from the PlayStation to your computer, and then on your computer you have to start up the VPN, and then you have to check connect to that specific network, and I think you have to do it through the PlayStation then. Have I played the Zelda games? No, I haven't, Edwin. Okay, here we go. I did used to play a game called Mega Man Legends. A lot of people compare that to Zelda. That was an old game a long time ago. That will be tomorrow, Zach. Oh, you played Mega Man Legends 2, Edwin. Yep, it's a great game. What's something that a lot of people think that isn't true? Give me a moment. I will think of something. I'll give you a good answer to that. Just give me a moment. I gotta think about that one. I think one of the things that people think a lot, correct me if I'm wrong on this, so if I am wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people, are scared that microwaving food gives you an increased risk of rate of cancer, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's any evidence that actually shows that there is a risk of, a higher risk of getting cancer because you eat microwave foods. But that's what some people think. But when it comes to history, I have to think about something historical that people believe that isn't necessarily true. A lot of people think the Earth is flat, and I don't know how anyone can think that. That's stupid. Okay. But does anybody know that in the comments? Am I right on that? Am I right on that? That microwaving food, that there's no proof that it's linked to cancer, but like a lot of people think that if you microwave foods that you have like a higher risk of getting cancer. But I've seen videos on that, and people have basically said that there's no evidence that that's true. Okay. Is the processed food. Well, yeah, that's the food itself. Sure, a lot of the food we eat is unhealthy, but it's more about the microwaving the food itself, like the process of the microwave itself. Like, if you take, like, healthy food, right? Like, healthy food, and you microwave it, I don't think there's, like, any risk of, you know, any increased risk of getting cancer. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there is. Would you ever play PS2 The Punisher game? Oh, yeah, definitely. That's actually been a recommended one for a long time, Charlie. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I got it now. To answer your question, who was it that asked me, to name something that a lot of people believe that isn't true? Who was it that asked me that question? It was you. Okay, Penguin. And unpopular opinion, I don't think Mary Linton is as bad as players make it out to be. She just wants Arthur to become a better man. And if she waited a bit longer for him, she could see that. Well, I didn't really have any problem with her. That was, you know, Arthur's former girlfriend, right? I didn't really have any issues with her, Chrysler, when I was playing through the game. Thank you for the super chat. Also, to answer your question, one thing that a lot of people believe that isn't true is there are, you know, I don't know how many people believe this, but it probably is thousands. Probably at minimum thousands. But there's a lot of people, for example, when it comes to American history, there's a lot of people that think that the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. I'm not joking. There's actually people that believe that. There's people who think that the Civil War was not fought over slavery, and they think that it was fought primarily over states' rights. And so they will, they'll say, oh, it was over states' rights constantly, but then when you ask them, you know, the states' rights to what, they can't ever give an explanation. And when you cite, like, the fact that the Confederates' Constitution, the vast majority of their state constitutions outline slavery as the main reason for secession, there are still people that think that it had nothing to do with slavery. I would say another thing that people believe of historically that's also false is a lot of people believe, for example, that every single European power was imperialist and had colonies. That's also one thing that people believe that's false, when that's not true. The vast majority of Western European countries were imperialist, but there was a lot of European countries that actually were not imperialist, and in fact, they actually suffered from imperialism themselves. They were actually colonies of other countries. Like, for example, Greece didn't have colonies, Ireland didn't have colonies, Norway didn't, Poland didn't, Switzerland didn't. I'm trying to think of what other countries that didn't, you know, attack anyone. But yeah, the Baltic countries, Lithuania, you know, Estonia, Latvia, those countries didn't have colonies either. So there's this, I would say there's this false misconception that people think that, like, every single European country had colonies, when it's just not true. A lot of European countries were actually victims of colonization as well. So that's what I'll say about that. It was mostly Western Europe that did colonization. The biggest imperialist in Eastern Europe was Russia. The biggest imperialist in Western Europe was Britain. But there was plenty of countries that didn't. Oh, and Czechoslovakia. How could I forget Czechoslovakia? Czechoslovakia didn't have colonies either. So there was a lot of countries that didn't have colonies. Yes, I will make the Johnny K lore video, yes. I might do a video reacting to Sniper Elite Resistance, yes. From what you've seen of Breaking Bad, what's your impression of Gus, at least when compared to criminals like Hector and the cartel? I would say that Gus is a much more pleasant person to work with than working with like Hector, for example. Here's the thing: is that Hector and Gus actually see things differently. You know, they're both criminals. You know, they're both massive drug dealers. But there's a big difference between how they do things. Hector basically sees everybody as like a pawn. He doesn't respect anybody. The only people that Hector, I would say, respects are his family. Like, if you are not part of the Salamanca family, he does not respect you. Even if you've been like a worker for him, you've done jobs for him for like years, you've always been loyal to him, he will never show you respect ever. Gus, on the other hand, if you work for him, you do a good job, he will show you respect, he'll treat you with respect, and he'll generally be fair to you. Gus isn't the type of person that's going to betray you if you're working with him. If you keep your end of the deal, he will keep his end of the deal. However, though, Gus is the most dangerous when he thinks that you are a possible risk. If he thinks that you are a possible risk, if he thinks that you are a possible liability, he's going to get rid of you. So, like, for example, if you want to, like, leave his business, even if you promise not to rat him out, he will probably get rid of you. He will probably kill you. So that's the thing, is he's the type of person that's not going to leave any kind of loose ends. So as long as, you're loyal to him and you're not screwing him over and you're not a liability, he's not going to betray you. He's not going to screw you over. But if you become a liability at any point, he's going to get rid of you. So that's what I'll say about Gus. Thank you, Mr. Nowhere, for the super chat. Gus even threatens Walt's children. Yeah, but the thing is, no, we're not describing, like, good-hearted people. We're describing cold-blooded murderers. But the point that I'm getting at is that Gus wasn't as evil as Hector. I would say that Hector was worse. Hi, Pro. Hope all is well. Take care always. Thank you, Thank you, Timid Light. Thank you. Thank you for sponsoring my channel for, 21 months. Thank you. Oh, Ashley is probably the worst girlfriend that a GTA character's ever had. Definitely. What are my thoughts on, thank you, Chryslin. What are my thoughts on Cyberpunk's story? I don't really have much of an opinion because I haven't played it, so I don't know much about it. I just know it takes place in the future, but I don't know much about it. Thank you, Nikki, for the super chat. No, Otto, before you start this, invite somebody else. Invite one other person. There's Minnie and there's DJ who are free. Invite one other person before you start this. Oh, thank you, XIFY. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. Thank you, man. I thought Maria Latore was worse than Ashley. No, the thing is, though, we don't even know if Maria is really a girlfriend. That's the thing is, you can make the argument that she's Claude's girlfriend, but, Claude really has no association, no relationship with her whatsoever. So, as stupid as Maria is, she's not as bad as Ashley. Ashley is actually worse than Maria. What does Ashley do? Well, she basically was just a lost cause. She was constantly getting addicted to drugs. She constantly caused Johnny problems. Johnny had to constantly bail her out, and then she got Johnny addicted to meth and got him killed. So that's, I would say, she's the worst one. Okay, Otto, did you invite other people to the Did you invite other people to the MC? Let me see here. You did. Okay. And I will say also is, you know who another really bad girlfriend is in the GTA series? Amanda. Amanda's technically, you know, Michael's wife, not his girlfriend, but I guess we could put her in the same category. Is, you know, she's really toxic and she's really bad as well. And, I will say also about this is, one of my favorite lines in GTA 5 is, it's near the end of the game, and it's basically right when Michael, like, gets back his family, like, when Michael's at the therapy session, and, like, he's arguing with Amanda, and then Amanda is, like, basically, you know, saying about how how Michael's a murderer, and he kills people, and he robs people, and basically Michael then says to her, he says, "I don't see you complaining on the way to the bank." And that is probably, like, one of my favorite lines ever, because the thing about that is that's a parody off of Mob Boss's wife. Like, Amanda is really a parody off of Mafia Wives. And Amanda, when you really think about it, Amanda is kind of a parody off of Carmela. She's kind of based off Carmela Soprano. That's kind of who she's based off of. Basically is, a lot of these Mafia wives, they take this high and mighty approach. They're like, you know, I'm not a criminal, I'm not a bad person, and they'll be criticizing, like, you know, their husband, for example, for, like, the horrible things that they do. But then when it comes to the money, they are perfectly happy living under that blood money. They're perfectly happy living with that, you know, the horrible things that their husbands do. They might complain here and there, but they're perfectly fine with living on, with that money. The money that their husbands bring over that's responsible for killing so many people. So that's what I will say about it, is that some of these Mafia bosses' wives, they are just as bad as the Mafia boss. Like, the wives are sometimes just as bad as the Mafia boss. So that's, that's what I'll say about it. Honestly, I'm really hate character girlfriend in HD GTA is Deborah. She reminds me my ex, but thank you, Agent, for the super chat. But Deborah isn't you know, Trevor's girlfriend. That's she's really Floyd's fiance, but she causes a bunch of problems too. Oh, I haven't watched Breaking Bad in full. I've seen some episodes from the first season, and then I've just seen clips, so I haven't seen Breaking Bad in full. I know the characters, I know their personalities a bit, but I don't know, you know, the entire story. That I don't know. Okay, we can deliver these with 3 people. It's gonna be a little tough, but we can get it done. Yup, this is one of the worst cells. You lose cargo? No, I didn't. I didn't lose cargo. I'm still driving. What happened? How did we just lose 2 crates? Okay, well, it's fine. It's your sale, Otto. I guess do whatever you want to do. It's not a big deal anyways. The bonus is gonna make up most of the difference. Yes, Fallout 4 factions need much more character development. Even with the increased time, you can't do 4 of these solo, yeah. It is a pain. Okay, Sparrow's delivered. Honestly, I agree with you, Alex. I'd rather have these bad cell missions removed than have an increased timer. I don't think anybody's gonna complain if Rockstar removes the Dune FAV mission or the post-op mission. Normally, I don't want content removed from games, but like this content I'm fine with removing. How are you gonna play the old country when you are a GTA 6 fan? What do you mean? I mean, I play all kinds of crime games. I don't understand the question. Okay. 'They both come out in 2025. I'll play both of them. Oh, thank you, CHSTA005 for sponsoring the channel. Thanks, man. I should be able to make these 3 drops. 5 minutes is still enough time. I should be able to hit them. Yeah, I'll be able to. I'll make these 2 drops. It's enough time. I'll make it. Stick to GTA, leave the Mafia to us? Well, why can't I play Mafia, the old country? I don't understand. Okay, here we go. I just don't believe you're going to leave GTA 6 for anything. Well, it's not about leaving GTA 6 for anything. It's the fact that I play a lot of different games. When GTA 6 comes out, I'll do a lot of content on it. Definitely. But I'm not just going to do just GTA 6. I also want to play the new Mafia game. I want to play that too. Here we go. You should watch YouTube videos where Red Dead Redemption 2 is played on a PC and an OLED TV looks so beautiful on a smartphone with an OLED or 4K screen as it does on the PS4 Pro. Shows how detailed Red Dead Redemption 2 is. Well, Red Dead Redemption 2 is definitely one of the most detailed games I've ever seen. Do you know how many hours you have on GTA? Sure, I'll check for you in a moment. Have I watched the Psycho series? No, I haven't, Mark. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. Okay, let me see. He was asking me earlier how much time I got spent in GTA Online. So my overall income, the reason it's all messed up, it's minus like a billion, is because GTA Online has this glitch where if you get up to like $2,100 million in total earnings, like the integer's messed up, and then it goes to negative. But my total time spent in GTA Online is 493 days, 22 hours, and 20 minutes. That means that I have about 1.5 years of my life spent on GTA Online. So yeah, so if it wasn't for GTA Online, I technically would be 28 and a half right now, but I'm 30. So
Made part of the sales.
okay,
Alright, these drops are only accessible by seaplane.
oh, and
Go when you are.
is it hang on one second here. GP Doze, I recognize you. Yeah, I saw your video actually this morning. This morning I actually got a video recommended to me, and I think it was from your channel, and it was when you were drawing me. I actually saw that video today. I left a like on it. Yeah, and it popped up in my recommendations.
I don't want to die. Immigrant cocksucker.
I left a like on it. Okay, oh, GP does, he actually drew me, on his channel. He did a video where he drew me. And he did a pretty good job at it too. I used to be much better at drawing when I was younger, but I suck now. Like, I'm terrible. Terrible. Like, I used to be much better when I was younger. Well, I've always liked Fallout 3 more than Fallout New Vegas. Uh, because Fallout 3 to me felt like a more, you know, darker, you know, scarier game than Fallout New Vegas. But yeah, GP does. I will probably share your video a little bit later today, and you got skill. When it comes to drawing, you've definitely got skill. I could never draw as good as you. Do the Dmitry Raskolov voice. Hello, this is Dmitry Raskolov. Like, you know, that one. I was trying to do that. Wait, what's wrong, Sammy? Is South Park my favorite show? Probably my favorite cartoon, yeah. No, Hustler, I'm not going to, Saints Row, didn't Saints Row, 1, Saints Row 1 came out in 2006, right? That's when it came out in 2006. I will do a video, a playthrough of Saints Row 1 on the 20th anniversary again. I look like Dimitri without the glasses, huh? I did play Saints Row 1. Yeah, I played Saints Row 1 a couple of years ago, but I could do another playthrough, but I'm open to playing a game again. But if I do another playthrough, I always wait a couple years. I don't like doing it shortly after I wait years to replay it. I played Vice City 3 times in the channel. I did it, you know, once in, like, 2018. I did, once in, 2021, and then Vice City Definitive Edition came out, and I did it again. Bad drivers there.
Oh my god.
Do you recommend selling CEO crates in public or private lobbies? If you are selling solo, private lobby. If you have like friends to help you out, sell it in the public lobby because you can make such a giant bonus doing that. You can basically get an extra 50% just by selling in a public session. But make sure you sell it with friends that you absolutely trust. Do I remember Boogie? Yes, I remember him. He used to be a lot bigger when I was younger, but the now he's not as popular anymore, and he's been involved in so many controversies, and he also correct me if I'm wrong on this. Wasn't he the guy who lied about having cancer? Was he that YouTuber? If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. I remember there was one YouTuber who lied about that. I've been hearing that that people will be taking off work to play GTA 6. I feel like that's reaching for me. And will you do Road to GTA 6 challenge next year? Well, I could do a road to GTA 6, but what specifically would you like me to do for that challenge, Chryslin? And yes, people will take a day off to play GTA 6. And here's the thing imagine if the American economy shuts down because people take a day off to play GTA 6. Like, imagine, like, you have millions of people that just don't come into work because, like, they want to play GTA 6, and so parts of the economy just shut down because of that.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to play GTA 6 when it comes out. GTA 6 will be full of 5M assets. Well, that might be good if they add more role-playing to it, because I don't want, like, the grinding businesses. I want more role-playing to it. When will I play Ride to Hell? That's a really good question. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll play Ride to Hell on, like, April Fools. Like, when's next part of Ace Attorney? Either tonight or tomorrow. Ace Attorney parts of me coming out a lot faster now that LA Noire is wrapped up, and so will Fallout 3. Well, most people know Ride to Hell because of Angry Joe's review.
That's a successful...
You know, there's some stuff in Red Dead Redemption 1 is better than Red Dead Redemption 2, like the drunk animation and the moving left to right with your hands on ledges. Just like in GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption 2 is like 5 in that regard. Oh, I never really noticed on that. Okay, are we done with these sales here? What's going on? Do you know Andrew Ryan from Bioshock? Is he an anarchist, anarcho-capitalist, or, about Andrew Ryan, I know exactly who you're talking about when it comes to Andrew Ryan. I played Bioshock, when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand, you know, Andrew Ryan's ideology at all, but when I was a lot older, I was able to understand it fully. But when it comes to Andrew Ryan, what would I describe Andrew Ryan as? I would describe Andrew Ryan more as a, I would describe him as an authoritarian libertarian, if that makes sense. I know that kind of doesn't make sense, because authoritarianism is the opposite of libertarianism, but Andrew Ryan is like a very strong libertarian, very, you know, anti-government, no government, you know, regulation kind of guy. And to enforce his utopia, his libertarian, basically, utopia, he uses an authoritarian government to do so. So I would say he is an authoritarian kind of libertarian. What? Wait, what the? What? What? Wait. What? What? What just happened? You failed to deliver the weed? Well, we just got out of the business. What? The guy sitting in the truck, too. Wait. The hell?
What? No sale? Oh, if I feel like this, I'd hate to be you right now. Long John has left the building.
I can get in? Oh god. Don't need this guy anymore. Okay. I don't know what's going on. By the way, this is I've encountered this glitch before. This is a rare glitch. I haven't seen this happen in a long time, maybe like a year or two. But this is a rare glitch that can happen if you are actually spawning the weed business, that the truck can actually be flipped upside down. And this same glitch can actually happen at the weed business in Grapeseed, but the difference is the vehicle will actually be flipped upside down in Grapeseed, where in this one will just be stuck on the truck itself, but... No, they didn't patch the glitch. You expect Rockstar to patch a glitch, Donate? Rockstar's one of the worst developers when it comes to patching glitches. Thank you for the super chat, Donate. I'm not making fun of you or anything. I'm just saying that Rockstar is is not going to patch a lot of stuff. I really missed the top speed glitch. I never did that glitch. I had one of my friends complaining that they removed it, though. Road to GTA, and thank you, Age Reaper. Road to GTA 6 is a challenge to play all the GTA games to prep for GTA 6. Not sure if you want to do that, but I've seen a couple of my YouTubers doing it now. What do you mean, like playthroughs, Chrysler? Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Somebody32. I don't know if you watch baseball, but did you see the Yankees, umpire Nick Marley get hit by the broken bat today, Pro? It was insane. No, I didn't. He got hit by a broken bat? Wait, what do you mean? What happened? What? I just got hit by a fire truck. How did that happen, somebody? I know that Andrew Ryan is based on Ayn Rand's teachings. That I do know. But going back to answering a question about Andrew Ryan is I think that I don't think that Andrew Ryan is a good person, but I don't think he's evil either. I think he did want to have a utopia where people can, work for what they have and they can keep what they have. I think that is, I think that was not a bad idea that he had, but I think it's more about how Rapture was executed as a city, like like, what happened to the city overall. Because the thing is, though, is that what ultimately brought down Rapture is, when it came to Rapture, the things that brought down the city are... There is, three major reasons why Rapture fell in Bioshock. The first reason is drugs. Adam addiction is basically what caused a huge part of Rapture society to fall. A lot of libertarian ideals revolve around, abolishing, drug laws, for example, is not having, drugs being, not decriminalizing drugs. And, you saw, in Rapture, for example, there was no regulation when it came to, drugs, what people could use, and then they discovered this new drug, Adam. People got really addicted to it, and it just basically turned most of the city into addicts and destroyed people's minds. The second reason that the city fell apart was because of the Mafia, Frank Fontaine, and his corruption. There wasn't enough police resources. There was, private security in Rapture. There wasn't really a police force. And that was also a huge part of it. And the third reason why the city fell apart was because despite it being a libertarian utopia, there had one rule, and that rule was that you cannot leave the city. You can't leave. And so what ended up happening is there would be poor people that would like come to Rapture for a better life, and then they were forbidden from actually leaving the city, and they had to do things like, you know, being janitors, being cleaners, you know, jobs that people didn't want to do, and they couldn't leave. They couldn't, you know, go somewhere for a better life. And so because of that, those people got pissed off, and then they went to Atlas, who was Frank Fontaine, and then he basically started the whole revolution, and the rest is what it is. Danganronpa. Yeah, people have requested that to me a lot of times. Wait, what, Mr. Rage? What are we doing in here? Are we selling something? Angels of Death might appear in GTA 6. It's a possibility. Okay. Let me go outside. Well, isn't the Frontier that mod that had like really creepy things in it? Help deliver the... Do you want me to drive this? Okay. It's only 1 mile. Okay, it's not even bad. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna start helping other people sell. Let me just, Would I consider playing Deus Ex Human Revolution? Yeah. I could play those games one day. Composite creativity, thank you. I know those are like the futuristic games. I know that about them. Dishonored? Isn't Dishonored kind of like Bioshock Infinite? What, Joseph Ellison? What's wrong, Joseph? Okay, there we go, lost the cops. What the? Who's chasing me?
See, this is why I have a soul. My ride! Seriously?
Okay, here we go. 2 miles left. Wait, what, Mr. Rage? What? How can I get in your game to grind? Well, you would have to have me added. Oh. I can only play with friends in these lobbies, unfortunately, because if I try to play in public sessions, I'm gonna get jumped really badly, and people are gonna go after me, and I haven't gotten jumped in, like, years. So, in, like, streams. So yeah. This is why I play in these private sessions, mostly. Did you see what Skybound Entertainment tweeted about Telltale's The Walking Dead? It's honestly disappointing, and in my opinion, might ruin the game's lore and story. What are your thoughts on it? What did they tweet specifically? No, I'm not gonna play Heist until, like, probably 20 minutes from now I'll play Heist, but I want to help some more people sell their stuff. Okay. I thought I was gonna miss tonight. Made it. Oh, okay. Hey, Random Fist. How are you, man?
Christ alive! Ah! Die painfully and
This door closed.
Christ!
This door will close. This is starting to annoy me. Yeah, the door's not closing. Who else needs help with something? Invite me. Brandon, if you're gonna source crates, just spawn them, and I'll get them. Brandon, just spawn it, and I'll get it. Just, Brandon, just make sure that you do land. Please don't do air, do land, because land missions are so much easier than air. Sandy Shores Airfield. Okay, here we go. How would you feel if GTA 6 Online started off with the CEO crates MC business off the get-go? Would that be good or bad? Bad, because I don't want a constant grind. I want like a different way to make money. Wait, so they ruined the Walking Dead continued in the comics, the game, and they ruined it? Thank you, Rance, for the super chat. I'm playing on PlayStation. Should Roy Earl have been killed in the final mission of Fallout 3? I don't know. I mean, or not, in LA Noire, I mean. I don't know. But, I like the ending the way it was. It was kind of depressing, but it was a more realistic ending. What is your tie? I actually don't even know what this tie is called. I remember I just searched up red tie a long time ago and I got this one. No, I'm not the highest level in GTA 5 legitimately. There's people who are higher levels than me legitimately. Oh, so the comic doesn't even follow the lore anymore. Oh. I'll play it probably one day, Farham. Okay, see you, Golden. Danganronpa. It's kind of like Ace Attorney. Isn't Danganronpa, though, much more, brutal than Ace Attorney? Like, it's much more, violent? And, like, grittier and darker, right? You got my respect on all the money you have. No exploits, all legit. Thank you, Phoenix. Thanks, man. No, I haven't, Gunner. I don't do glitches, though, Beast. I don't do glitches. I can help you with a heist if you need help with a heist, but I don't do glitches. I think Johnny from, GTA 4 could have been a match for Trevor. But that wasn't Johnny from GTA 4. Okay. Well, I don't know much about that mod, Frankie. I just heard massive controversies about it. How come I never see you do Cayo Perico and stuff? Well, because most people are doing casino heists. And it's because Cayo Perico I used to do a lot back in the day, but Cayo Perico got stupid because it's just the guards got really broken. Alright, thanks, Pro. Just wanted to see if you wanted extra cash, but okay, see you later. Have a good rest of your night. Okay, I'll see you, Beast. Take care. Well, I don't know anything really about that mod, Frankie. EDP445 is back on YouTube. Wait, isn't that the guy? Isn't that YouTuber who did those disgusting things to a minor? Like, he was texting and harassing her and trying to meet up with her. Isn't that guy? That guy's a creep. Okay, we're delivering the remaining cargo here. Probably not, Frankie. Did you ever hear in 2020 about the two gas station owners rivaling on who had the cheapest gas, and how the one rival ended up losing it and went to beat up the other owner? What? No, I don't think so, Gunner. There's no indication of that. No, it's okay, Frankie. I probably would not want to play that mod because I heard bad things about it. Maybe I'll play Fallout London, but not that one. How many days do you have on GTA 5 combined on all consoles? Well, this is, you know, my PS3 character that was transferred to PS4 and then transferred to PS5. So this is, like, you know, in total everything. So in total I have 493 days and 22 hours played on GTA Online. That means that I have over 1.5 years of my life is on GTA Online. You know what I was thinking though, Gunner? What I was thinking is that General Bohm might come back in Sniper Elite Resistance. Did you ever think about that? Because General Bohm in Sniper Elite 4, you shoot down his plane and his plane crashes, but you never actually see him die. He's the only Sniper Elite villain that you never see die. The only one. Like, every single Sniper Elite villain you always shoot at the very end of the game, but he's the only one that you never see die. And so that's why I thought that General Bohm might come back in Sniper Elite Resistance. Yeah, Sniper Elite Resistance. It was just announced a couple days ago. Thoughts on the Bully re-rating link? The leak? Well, you have to explain this a little bit to me. What's that about? Yes, oh, it's entirely possible Don Percival will be making an appearance in GTA 6. It's possible. He might even be an antagonist. It was recently rated in Taiwan. Well, what is getting rated in Taiwan? A new Bully game? Bully 1. Well, I don't know. The Sturmgewehr 44 and Ace Attorney had shocked your reaction. Yeah, I was a bit shocked that there was an STG 44 and Ace Attorney. I didn't expect that. Like, that's like a weird gun to see in a, you know, in a modern, like, you know, detective game. Yeah, I might do a reaction to the trailer for Sniper Elite Resistance. I still have contact with Rebellion. I talked to them before, the developers of that game. I actually didn't know that they were making a new Sniper Elite game. But I will, I'll probably, when the game's coming out, I'll probably email them and ask them if they can send me an early copy. They did send me, they sent me Sniper Elite 5 like 2 weeks before it came out last time. So I was very grateful for that. Isn't the STG-44 the first automatic rifle ever made? No, no it's not. It's the first assault rifle. It's not the first automatic rifle. It's the first assault rifle. I think the first automatic rifle ever made, I think it's the Automat. The Russian, you know, gun. I think that's the first automatic weapon, automatic rifle that was ever made. But the STG-44 is the first assault rifle. Oh, I'm sorry. If I missed your super chat, I'm sorry, man. Let me see. No, I saw your super chat, Blinded Eagle. I responded to it, but I asked you, I asked you, like, what that was about. No, I haven't played the new mode yet. Is the new mode good? Is it? Maybe we'll actually play it during the stream. We could actually do that, probably. Does anyone need help with anything still here? Who needs help with something? Can you request me after the live stream is over? Keyshawn, right? Well, what's your PSN? I can try to add you after the stream. Who am I cosplaying as? My GTA Online character. Oh no. We had nothing but good cell missions today, and then this had to happen. Yeah, Jack definitely survived the events of Red Dead Redemption 1. The first submachine gun ever made was the, it's debatable. We don't know. Because it's the, most historians agree that the STG-44 is the first assault rifle ever made, but when it comes to the first submachine gun ever made, there's arguments. It's a tie. It's between the MP8, the German MP18, and then there's what's the name of that Italian submachine gun in World War I? The one, I think it's a Beretta model. It's the one with like the magazine on the top, the top of the receiver. I'm trying to remember. It's what's the name of that submachine gun? Does anybody know? The Italian one from World War I, the one with the magazine on the top. I forget what it's called.
Calling the cops. I knew this day would come.
No, the one that has two magazines. The one that has two magazines, that's the Perosa. Yeah, that's the Perosa. But the other one, the one with one magazine on top. There's two different types. No, it's not the Lewis gun. Might be the OVP-18. Hold on a second. It might be the Automatico. Maybe it's the Beretta M1918. It might be that one, actually. I will look it up in a moment here. Bully got rated for last and current gen consoles, huh? Wonder what that's gonna be then.
Holy shit!
See you later, guys. Take care. I'll see you, Enclave General. Are you checking out my Fallout 3 playthrough by any chance? You might actually like that one. Wait, what's going on in Indonesia, Stratos? And Keyshawn, did you tell me your PSN by any chance? Okay, let me look this up now for people that are wondering. Here, hang on a second. What is the first SMG made in history? Let's see. People say it's the MP18. But other people are saying it's the, other people are saying it's the Beretta M1918. That's the one. So it's either the MP18 or the Beretta M1918. Okay, Keyshawn. I'll add you after the stream. Okay. I actually like your Ace Family playthrough. It's different, and different change of pace. Thank you, man. Well, I'll add you too. There's two Keyshawns. I'll add you too also, Keyshawn Nicholas. Can you tell me what your PSN is also? Now add Keyshawn Wright, now add Keyshawn Nicholas. I can only add 2 people on this stream today. Next stream I can try to add more people. I'm always making room on my friends list. You don't have to donate to me for me to add you. I'm always open to adding more people. But right now I'm just gonna make room for 2 people, and then next stream I'll probably make room for more people to add. Oh, I have you added already, Keyshawn Nicholson? Okay, I'm sorry. And this is a lot of people that are just always asking me to add them, and I'm getting confused, so... okay, I'll add Keyshawn Wright, and then next stream I'll try to add more people. Hey, Eastwolf. My sub isn't anything special, though. Okay, let's go through here. Take this little shortcut through here. V-2 rockets were the first missiles built by Nazi Germany. Well, there's a difference because a missile is a guided system, rocket is unguided. Basically, here's one thing that people don't know about the V-2 rockets. The V-2 rockets are one of the worst weapons ever made, and the reason for that is because the, you don't want to help me? No, I can help you, Grandpa King. If you're in the session, send me an invite and I'll help you out too. About the V-2 rockets, the V-2 rockets were not developed as primarily a military weapon. They were developed as a terror weapon. The V-2 rockets were a weapon specifically designed to target civilians. That's what the weapon was designed specifically to do. It was designed to kill civilians. So it wasn't meant to be as a military weapon to use against militaries. It was meant to target cities, hit civilians. And if you look at what the V-2 rockets did, most of the V-2 rockets that they would hit civilian areas. They wouldn't hit military targets. So the V-2 rocket was pretty much a terror weapon. And one really horrible thing that a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the Nazi rocket scientists that developed that weapon, that blew up cities and killed thousands of civilians, a lot of those guys were not put on trial after the war, and instead they got offered deals where they instead developed the American space program. So those V-2 rocket scientists, a lot of them ended up forming NASA. So a lot of their scientists were Nazi rocket scientists. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, Stratos, is it possible that those who have much higher levels than you played this game literally every 4 days a week without stopping since the game came out? It's possible. I don't know if there really is a rank 8,000 that's legit. That's a good question, but Have you heard or seen the 2002 film The Pianist? Yes, I seen The Pianist a long time ago. The Pianist was a really good movie. It was actually based on a true story. It's really depressing. Yeah, and that was like a spat in the face to all the dead civilians when Americans brought on with the V2 rocket scientists. Those V2 rocket scientists should have been hung after the war. They should have been hanged. I don't care how smart those guys were. Those guys didn't deserve to live. The weapons that those guys made, the amount of civilian casualties they caused, you know, those guys deserve to get hanged after the war. Okay, we've got 3 more drops here left to make. And Grandpa King, are you still here? You said you needed help with something? Are you here still? The Soviets did the same as well. They hired a bunch of German scientists for their missile and space program. That is true. That is true. The guy who designed the MG-42, I know, went to go work for the Soviets. So that I do know. Is a lot of the German weapons developers ended up going to work for the Soviets as well. That is true. Do you think that Yuta would see through Fulbright? Yes. Have you seen that the Gestapo are going to make an appearance in a new Sniper Elite game? I wonder if there are special enemy types or they're just reskins. The Gestapo are going to probably make an appearance because Sniper Elite 5 takes place during the Allied, you know, Normandy invasion of France. Sniper Elite Resistance apparently takes place before the Normandy landings. So it's like you're behind enemy lines, you don't really have the U.S., U.S. Army to rely on, and so you're on your own, you're helping the resistance, and so the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police, are probably going to be a, big enemy in that game. They were in the Saboteur. Do you think the Soviets or the U.S. were to blame for the Cuban Missile Crisis? The U.S. did put missiles in Turkey first. I think the Soviets would have put missiles in Cuba regardless if the U.S. put missiles in Turkey. And about the U.S. missiles that were in Turkey is the U.S. agreed to remove the missiles when the Soviets agreed to remove missiles from Cuba too. So that was, so I would blame the Soviets for that because that conflict escalated a lot too. Okay. Skullhead King needs help selling? Okay, let's help Skullhead King then. Skullhead King, can you invite me, man? CIA was to blame for escalating. Well, they were both kind of to blame for escalating it. But, you know... The Soviets started building nuclear missile silos in Cuba. Very close to, the US. So I would say they were both to blame for it, but when people say that the Soviets weren't to blame at all, I think that's a ridiculous view to have. Sure, Jaden. Okay, Mr. Wick. No, the MC timer... Well, the cell missions only got increased in timer. If you're selling solo, that's it. The CIA seems to be more of a liability these days rather than a force for good. Well, it's like I said on the Red Dead stream, is if I was the American president, I would abolish the CIA. I definitely would. I think the CIA should not be an agency anymore. Did the Soviets admit we landed on the moon? Yes. Yeah, but the US needs an agency like that. The CIA has caused the US more problems than done good things for the US. Like, if you look at a list of the things the CIA has done, like, pretty much every single government agency has done more good than bad, but the CIA has done more bad than good. Like, can you name me, like, good things the CIA has done versus, like, you know, bad things the CIA has done? Because I could give you an entire list of bad things the CIA has done, and it's gonna, you know, it's probably gonna be double or triple the amount of good things they've done. If I only had a single choice, abolish the ATF or abolish the CIA. Oh, it's a hard one, hard choice. Both of those agencies suck. I would say abolish the CIA, because even I hate the ATF too, but the CIA has just caused so much damage worldwide. Like, it just caused so many bad things, so many, you know, coups. You know, working with drug cartels, assassinations, experiments, you know, selling arms to dangerous rebel groups. Like, you know, the list goes on and on. There's just so many bad things that the CIA has done. Okay, let me see here. I'm waiting for the invite from Skull. Do you believe they did drug deals? They had helped to fund organizations that were involved in drugs. Okay, I'll see you, Jaden. Take care, man. Why do I hate the ATF? Oh, that's because the ATF spends a lot of its time going to harassing, like, you know, legal gun owners instead of actually going after criminals. Like, there have just been so many incidents. The ATF passes such stupid laws. There's such stupid, dumb laws they pass, and then they or help, I should say, they get Congress to pass and enforce those dumb laws. But ATF have caused a lot of problems. Bro, is it true that Poland sided with the communists in Vietnam in 1954 to 1959? Yes, but it's because Poland was a communist country at that time. Professional, it's my niece's 6th birthday. Can you wish her a happy birthday, please? Oh, thank you for the comment, Tristan, and happy birthday to your niece. Okay, is Skull here? Do I think the Soviets or the US were more evil? The Soviets, yeah. The Soviets, you know, look, the US has made mistakes. The US has done, you know, bad things in its history. I'm not denying that. But the US never had something like, you know, hundreds of, you know, gulag camps all over its country. So trying to equate, like, you know, the bad things the Soviet Union did and the bad things the US did, the Soviet Union did far worse things than the US. I'm not here to defend American foreign policy. I know the US has done really stupid and bad things, but it's just the Soviet Union has just done much more bad things in history than the US has. Let me just wait for Skull here to send an invite out. I don't think the French are going to come back because they were in that one mission in Vice City, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. He's not in the lobby? Okay. Okay. What, you didn't get a notification, WRV? The US did horrible things, you know, definitely, Emily. I agree with you, the US did horrible things in its history. What I'm saying is that, like, you cannot compare, you know, the US to the Soviet Union, because the Soviet Union did much worse things than the US did. I'm not here to excuse the bad things the US has done. I'm not here to make an excuse for American foreign policy or, like, you know, bad laws the US has had throughout its history. What I'm saying is that the US has never had, you know, a system where we had, like, you know, hundreds of prison camps where we were basically working people to death. We never had something like that. The Soviet Union did. So that's basically what I'm getting at, is the Soviets had just done much worse things than the US has done in its history. I think I'm gonna start a, an adversary mode here. Can somebody start up that new adversary mode and invite me, please? Can someone start it? Not to mention, the Soviet Union took over many different countries in Europe, including the Baltic states, and enforced their own language and religion on those captured countries. Yes, yeah, I would agree with you there. Can somebody can somebody start that new adversary mode? Would it be fair to say that both Hitler and Stalin were as bad as each other? I would say that Hitler was worse than Stalin. You know, Stalin is one of the most evil men in history. He's definitely Stalin is definitely in the top 5 most evil people in history, definitely. But about Hitler is, if Hitler had won, he would have killed more people than Stalin, much more people. So if Hitler had won, he would have pretty much exterminated everyone that is in Poland or enslaved them, and everyone in Ukraine, you know, Belarus and Russia. Like, Hitler despised Slavic people. He hated Slavic people, so he was going to exterminate the entire Slavic population. So that I would say about Hitler is Hitler was going to exterminate entire peoples. So I would say that Hitler was even worse than Stalin. Can somebody invite me to that mode? Oh, this is it, Mr. Wick here. And look, I'm not I'm not here to make excuses for, you know, bad things the U.S. has done. You know, the worst thing that America has done in its history is probably slavery, and then and also is displacement of Native Americans. That was also a really bad thing. But if you like compare the U.S., for example, to like the Soviet Union, and just look at just the Soviet Union existed in what, you know, 70 years. In that 70-year period, they have killed more people and done more damage than the U.S. has done in, like, you know, how old would be the U.S. would be, you know, 250 years. So, like Stalin, for example, Stalin ruled from, I think it was 1922 until 1953, so about 30 years that Stalin was in power. And in those 30 years, Stalin killed over 20 million people. 20 million people that he killed. So America's not a perfect country. You know, we've done, you know, bad, horrible things. You know, we've had slavery, we've displaced Native Americans, we've had, you know, racist laws. But but if you just compare us to like the Soviet Union, for example, the Soviet Union killed millions of people. They had, you know, hundreds of gulag camps, like prison camps in the middle of Siberia, where they worked people to death. For people that want to know how evil Stalin was, if you want to know how bad Stalin was, basically, Stalin had a doctor. I'll see you, Frankie. Stalin had a doctor, and invite as many people as you can here. And Stalin's doctor basically did a checkup on him, and Stalin's doctor told him that he has too much stress, and that he needs to work less. And needs to relax more. That's what Stalin's doctor told him, that he has too much stress and that he needs to, you know, work less and relax more. You know what Stalin did? Stalin had his doctor executed for that, for telling him that he's too stressed out, that he needs to relax more. That's the type of person that Stalin was. So he had his own doctor killed for telling him that he needs to relax more, that he's too stressed. That's the type of person that Stalin was. And also about Stalin is Stalin gave specific orders to never come into his room, ever. To never bother him, never come into his room no matter what. Unless he's calling them, to never come into his room. And what happened was Stalin had a stroke. And he collapsed. And the guards that were actually outside his room, they heard that. They heard him fall on the floor, and they heard him collapse, but he wasn't calling them. And one of the guards basically said, maybe we should go check up on him to see if he's okay. And the other guard's like, you want to get us both killed? And so they didn't go and check on Stalin, and Stalin died. That is how Stalin died. Is that his own rules got him killed. It's ironic. It's karma when you really think about it. So his own rules ironically got him killed in the end. And also about Stalin is Stalin had killed millions of people in Ukraine in the 1930s. And what happened was when the Soviet government was basically doing a let me see, demolition, pump action, infantry. I'll take the sniper. When the Soviet government was doing a census of the area, like a census of where Stalin killed all the people, they realized that the census was thousands of people short. Like, there was hundreds of thousands of people less in the census, so the population had dramatically decreased. And they went to Stalin. The people that were doing the census had no idea that Stalin had killed so many people in the area, and they basically went to Stalin and they said, you know, there's something wrong with the census. There's like thousands of people that are, you know, missing from when we did the population count, and Stalin had the people doing the census killed. So that's the type of person that Stalin was. So is that America has had, like, you know, bad leaders in our time. We've had, you know, evil, ruthless leaders. Like, you know, Andrew Jackson is probably one of the most ruthless, you know, American presidents that we've had. But if you, like, compare, like, for example, if you compare, you know, Stalin to a lot of the American presidents that we've had, they don't even come close. You know, Stalin's one of the worst people in history. Mode here. Defend the terminals. What am I supposed to do here on this mode? What is that? Out of area? Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, this game only has one life? So what am I supposed to do exactly on this? Am I supposed to shoot down the planes? I'm a bit confused what I'm supposed to do in this mode. Oh, jump out? Okay. Damn, how do I... Okay.
Here I come! You piece of shit! Find some cover! Inbred moron! Get behind something! Get down! Oh shit! Take cover! You piece of shit! Out of ammo! I'm gonna kill you!
Okay. Damn.
Reloading!
The planes are invincible, okay. That sounded like an orbital cannon that just went off there. Pro, what do you think about what Pakistan did in Bangladesh, especially the minority? And do you agree that a Khan Naisi who ordered that was evil? Whoever ordered that was evil. I don't know the people that are involved in that, but if that was the general's name, he's definitely evil. Pakistan committed genocide in Bangladesh in 1971. And the thing about that is that the modern-day government of Pakistan actually does not recognize the Bangladeshi genocide to this day. I dare you challenge, use free aim only pistols. Thank you, Agent Reaper. Oh, I can just change classes here, okay. Damn, okay. Okay, let's see. They're gonna be parachuting out, right? Secret loadout in the tower, really? Okay. Okay, there we go. There's a secret loadout in the tower, you said, huh? Let me go check it out. Okay, nice. I want to look at what I have here now. Hop in atomizer. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Damn, okay, they got me. Uh... Oh crap. No, no, no. Oh man.
I'm a fucking Marine!
Defend the aircraft carrier? Okay. Out of area. Well, how am I supposed to get into the area? Am I just gonna spawn in there? Oh. Huh. Oh, hold the triangle to respond to carrier. Okay. Thoughts on Syrian President Bashar al-Assad? He's a murderer. You know, he's a brutal dictator. But the problem when it comes to Syria is that a lot of the rebel groups that the US, for example, has ended up supporting in Syria have actually had ties to terrorists. So Syria is just a mess. Oh, nice. Okay. Mr. Wick, can you get off the gun? I just can't see that well on top when I'm aiming. Almost had him. Streams are always re-uploaded. Okay. Is there no plane that I can take? I'm trying to find a plane, but... Got one, okay. Wait, what's wrong? XIFY? Gotta try to time this well. Okay, good shot there. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll play Black Ops 6 when it comes out. I will. It does look like a Battlefield match in a way, huh? Oh, crap. Okay. I'm feeling discouraged today. What's wrong, Assassin Wolf? Thought it was funny to send him the link to your video to shut him up. Wait, what video? How do I... Hang on, wait. It's the other one, the other door. Yeah, Medal of Honor Rising Sun vibes right now. Do you think the US shouldn't have given support to the apartheid government even though they were communists? The US should only support countries that value human rights and value things like, you know, republic or democracy. They should never support any kind of regime. It doesn't matter if the country is anti-communist. If it's some kind of regime like apartheid that violates human rights, it should never be supported. But the problem with and this is probably the worst thing about American foreign policy during the Cold War, is that the US government would support anybody who's an anti-communist. And I hate communists, but just because somebody's an anti-communist does not mean that they're a good person. Somebody, you know, could be, you know, like a fascist, and they're anti-communist, like the apartheid government. You can make the argument the apartheid government was definitely fascist. I mean, Franco's Spain, the US had supported Franco's Spain, which was a fascist government as well. So, just because, you know, somebody's an anti-communist does not mean that they're a good person. And unfortunately, the US made a mistake where during the Cold War it supported a lot of really nasty regimes that were involved in, you know, horrible human rights abuses. What's your opinion on capitalism? It is not a perfect system, but it's the best economic system out there. Are you a capitalist? Yes. The apartheid government also considered anyone who wants equal rights as communists. Well, the U.S. government did the same thing with the House of Un-American Activities Committee. If you were if you said, for example, that you were against segregation and you supported, like, you know, you were against racism, the government would actually label you as a communist sympathizer. That actually happened. Do you think that capitalism has its limitations? Yeah, I mean, there's certain things you can't do, but, you know, I don't support, like, socialism or anything like that. Do you think that college is a ripoff? It really it depends on what you're going for specifically. It depends on what you're going for in college, what you want to do. Just don't do what my half-brother did, because my half-brother, what he did was, he went to college for philosophy. That's what he went for. And do you know what he did? He finished like a 4-year degree in philosophy, and then all he did was he just complained non-stop that he couldn't get a job anywhere. Prevent the hangar doors from being open. Bonus objectives. Oh, there's bonus objectives. Oh crap, I'm gonna die here. Capitalism is not perfect, but it's 10 times better than communism. I agree with you, Zombie Fanatic. And, you know, my professor always said to me in college, he said that capitalism is not a perfect system. It has its problems. It could definitely be better. But, but it's better than everything else that's been tried. You look like SpongeBob. What? Well, thank you, Zach, for the super chat. Damn. Okay. This is a really long adversary mode. Yeah, you guys were right in the comments. This is like a battlefield mode. Oh, damn. Yeah, I will play The Devil Inside Me. I haven't gotten around to it, but I do want to play the game. I do. My half-brother is not a cop. Let's see here. Okay. Do you like your stepbrother, my half-brother? No. No, me and him don't get along at all. I haven't talked to my half-brother in like 15 years. Oh, what am I doing here? Let go, okay. You got beef with your half-brother? No, it's actually the other way around. He has a problem with me. It's the other way around. Basically, what it ultimately comes down to for people, on my father's side, my father married, another woman before he ended up, and then later on, he divorced her, and then he ended up marrying my mom. But basically what happened was, his first marriage was not the best. His wife was extremely abusive, she was very toxic towards him, and he wanted a divorce. He got a divorce. He still ended up supporting, like, his, my half-brother and my half-sister, so he supported them, but he just didn't want to be with his wife anymore. And then he met my mom, and then had me later on. And about my half-brother is, ultimately, it's not necessarily that I have a problem with him, it's more that he has a problem with me, but it's, but because of just how toxic he was at this point, I kind of have a problem with him too, but, oh crap, I'm just destroying everyone right now with this. Basically, what it was ultimately about was that, he kind of blamed me for the divorce, even though I wasn't even alive during the divorce. I wasn't even born during the divorce. I didn't even exist during that. But basically, like, his mom had, like, filled his head with all this stuff that, that I had destroyed, like, by me being born, that I had destroyed, like, this, the family and all this other stuff, and that I shouldn't exist, and stuff. And so they're just toxic to me just for that alone. 156,000, wow. So ultimately, it's just jealousy, and it's just anger. He hates that, my father divorced his mom, you know, has a different wife and has another child, and so he hates that, and so just he's never been nice to me because of that. And so ultimately is, you know, I don't really care about him. You know, he's technically related to me. He's technically my half brother, but I like to think of myself as an only child. I don't really consider myself having siblings, because sibling is somebody that's there, supposed to be there for you. It's not somebody who's supposed to basically treat you like crap like that. So that's ultimately, and yeah, I guess I'll wrap this up here. Yeah, I haven't seen him since, like, I was, like, in the beginning of high school or middle school. It's, like, over 15 years I haven't seen him. But if you want to know the type of person that my half-brother is, my half-brother, what he basically did was, I have two stories to tell you guys really quickly, the type of person that he is. What happened is, my half-brother got a job as a photographer. So he would make photography books, and, about his job. What he did was, when he came to visit, when I was, like, still, like, a teenager, what he did was he was showing off to my dad. He wasn't showing off in, like, a nice way, not like a way that a dad would be proud of their child, but more of, like, I'm better than you, you know, I'm smarter than you, I'm making more money than you. It was just, you know, that type of attitude. Even though I was a teenager, I still understood a huge amount of it. My half-brother's, like, what, you know, I think, like, 12 or 13 years older than me. So it was, but anyways, about this is, so he was just basically showing off, bragging to my dad, and what ended up happening is, he kept saying, you know, I make more money than you, I'm doing better than you, and stuff like that. And then, remember, when we were, like, we went to a shopping mall, and when we went to a shopping mall, he saw, like, this, like, really expensive camera, and he was just basically just making, like, a big scene out of it. And at that time, he was, like, in his early 20s at that time. And he was just making, like, a big deal out of it. He's like, Dad, buy it for me, buy me the camera, you know, get me this new camera, it's gonna help me with my job. And I remember that my dad, he said to him that, you told me that you're so rich, that you know, you have much more money than me, you're doing much better than me. If you're so better off than me, then you don't need me buying a camera for you. That's what my dad said to him. My dad was absolutely right. And he made such a big scene out of it. He's like, you know, I'm your son, how can you treat me like this, you're being disrespectful to me, you know, blah, 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 this. So it was, I never got along with him, and it's just the, you know, it's ultimate, that was just, you know, not a good experience. But also is, I remember the worst thing that he did, the worst thing that he did is, not even the camera situation. The worst thing he did is my dad owned an apartment in Poland, and the apartment that he owned in Poland, because that's where my half-brother lives, he lives in Poland, my dad, had, owned an apartment in Poland. Not the building, but in a unit. And about the apartment unit that he owned, my half-brother, when he was still going to college, he told my dad, he's like, Dad, you know, housing is expensive, you know, can I please stay in your apartment, please? Can I do that? And my dad said, fine, I'll let you stay in the apartment, you can use it. But only he was supposed to use it, nobody else. And do you know what ended up happening is, the neighbor that was in the other apartment unit actually ended up finding my dad. I don't know how he found my dad's information, but he somehow looked up my dad, that he was the one who owned the property, and he contacted my dad. So he called him all the way from Poland to America, and he said, he's like, what the hell is, like, in your apartment unit, these people are, like, throwing these crazy parties at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and, like, I can't go to sleep. And my dad's like, wait, what's going on? It's like, my son was only supposed to be living there. And so he finds out that what my half-brother did was, he lied to my dad about needing the apartment, and he basically took the apartment and he rented it out. He was renting it out illegally. So even though it wasn't his, he was renting out the apartment illegally to some, you know, crazy people that were constantly partying, doing parties and all this other stuff, and they were paying him money. So he was collecting rent off of that. And then my dad confronted him about it and basically said, like, you know, why are you renting out this apartment? This was only supposed to be for you. And then he goes into, oh, it's, you know, it's helping me to pay college, you know, renting out the unit. He's like, no, no, no. It's like, you rented an apartment unit out to some crazy people who are constantly throwing parties. It's pissing off all of the neighbors. You didn't tell me anything about this. You told me you were going to be living there. And then what my dad did was he had the people thrown out of the apartment. He got them kicked out, and he basically took control of the apartment again. And then what the worst thing about that is that my half-brother then went around the neighborhood and started spreading these rumors around, saying that my dad was, like, kicking him out of his apartment, and that he's, like, this rich dad who, like, went to America and abandoned his kids, and then he, like, didn't even want his son to stay in his apartment. And that wasn't even true, but he told all the people in the neighborhood that, and then it eventually got back to my dad, and they didn't even know the full story. He was, like, renting the apartment out, making money off of it to some, like, crazy people that were throwing parties. So that's ultimately my half-brother is, you know, I've never gotten along with my half-sister is kind of toxic too, but she's not as toxic as him, but he's the worst. So I don't, you know, I haven't seen him in, like, you know, I probably won't see him for the rest of my life. You know, I haven't seen him in, like, you know, 15 years. I don't plan on ever seeing him again. So that's, you know, not a good sibling for me. Let me see here. You're the realest on YouTube, Pro. Love you. Thank you, Spud Gunner. Thanks, man. Your half-brother seems like a terrible person. At least you're not around him now. Thank you, Shyest Raccoon. At least you have your fans, so thank you, Anthony. I haven't seen my half-sister in just as long, but yeah, you know, she never reaches out to me or anything like that, and I remember that, I remember when I was a kid, my dad tried to get me and him to get along when I was a kid, and basically my dad wanted me to call him my half-brother on his birthday and wish him a happy birthday, and I told my dad, I said, like, you know, why should I, call him on his birthday? He never calls me. And my dad's like, you never know, you call him, he'll call you on your birthday. And so I ended up calling him on his birthday. He thanked me, but then he never called me on my birthday. And I said, you see, Dad, I told you he wasn't gonna call me on my birthday. My dad said, I guess you're right, you don't have to call him anymore. So that was, so that was ultimately it, I consider myself an only child. Like I said, when people ask me do I have siblings, I typically say that I'm an only child. Because, like, you know, I don't consider that person like a sibling to me, personally. And I highly doubt that my half-brother even knows what I do for a living. I highly doubt he even knows I do a YouTube channel. Patrick, I don't think exposing your brother like that to strangers like us viewers makes you any better than him. Well, all I basically did was I just explained what happened. People asked me in the comments why I don't have a good relationship with my half-brother, so I was very, you know, very straightforward about that. I never said his name, so it's not like I shamed him on the internet or anything like that. So that's ultimately, I'm not going to violate his privacy or anything like that. But I was just, people were just curious in the comments, so I told people. I don't mind telling people. You know, I don't get along with him, so, you know, I really have no reason to defend him. So that's, sorry to hear that, Pad. We can be brothers in cheap tacos. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you for the super chat. Maybe I'll do Dying Light one day. Best and worst chapter in Red Dead 2? Maybe the worst chapter is the beginning, the snow one. The best chapter is probably chapter 4, probably. Oh, I didn't look at it yet, Orion. I'll look at it later. Is all the World War II Call of Duty games connected to each other? I don't think so. They do, Hyperion. Pat's half-brother should be called the Amateur. You know what? But I guess I will be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. What does it feel like being 30? It kind of feels kind of weird that my 20s are gone. It feels kind of weird. How old is your half-brother now? I don't know. Something like in his 40s. Like I said, he was like 12 or 13 years older than me. Maybe even older than that. I don't even remember his age. So it's, Pro, I'm glad that you and your stream exist. It doesn't get any better than what you make for us. Thank you, Emily. So I will be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a